Hello, everyone. Welcome to a session of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence in Africa. Today, we have Leonard, who is the founder of Data Science Zimbabwe. Hello, Leonard. Thank you for making time for this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Can you please tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Leonard Mutambanengwe. I'm Zimbabwean, born and bred in Tare in the Eastern Highlands.
Okay. Can you please tell us how you got into data science?
Oh, well, quite an interesting journey there. I had completed my first degree in economics and finance, and I was working as a business analyst at a tobacco marketing concern in Zimbabwe. And I had this one task that I had to do every single day at my work, which I felt could have been done with a little bit of some automation. So I was actually looking for scripting languages, and I came across Python in trying to come up with just something that I could automate for that particular task. And so in the search for this script, and then learning what Python was being used for. And then also because, business analysts, sometimes you have to deal with data every now and then. I ended up just getting interested in this whole world that had just been made available, data science. And so I just started to learn Python by myself, Python, and then a little bit of R as well. And then somehow I found myself going to do a master's data science for complex economic systems. And here I am now, a data scientist. Yeah.
Okay. I'm interested in your studies for data science for complex economies. But before we get to that, I'm just going to ask about Data Science Zimbabwe. So you are the managing director of Data Science Zimbabwe. Can you please tell us how you got started with the organization and the current work that you're doing now?
Oh, okay. So Zimbabwe has had Python communities for a bit, and one of the communities was Python Zimbabwe. And in 2016, they had a conference, which I think just a few number of people actually showed up, but they had a group which many people were joining. We were having a lot more people coming through. So in 2018, during the course of my master's, we then realized that we had quite a number of people who were interested in data science within this Python community. And so we decided to have a separate group. This was just on WhatsApp, where we could, discuss what was happening in data science, in machine learning, and artificial intelligence, and try and help those who were interested in data science, especially given that Zimbabwe at the time didn't have many, school programs that were focusing on data science. So trying to get people who are interested in data science from other different fields, traditional and non-traditional, in the sense, you've got people who have done, mathematics, your physics, your computer science, your software engineering, and then people from the non-traditional kind of sense. So all those people were interested in learning more about data science, how they could, get started, get going in their journeys. So we end up with this separate WhatsApp group. And then at the PyCon conference of 2018, we got to meet for the first time. Quite a number of these people were in this new WhatsApp group. And so we then just decided, why not have a meetup? So we proceeded to have a meetup in 2018. And then that's when we constituted Data Science Zimbabwe as a standalone organization. And so that's what we have been doing since then, just trying to build a platform, still mostly focused on getting that interest within Zimbabwe, trying to get people with the right skills, try to nudge them in the right direction with regards to data science, but then also to try and put in place, the the key links that could be needed in such an ecosystem. Your public entities, your corporate entities, academic institutions, and benefit the community. So that's what we're doing at Data Science Zimbabwe.
Okay, that's really great work. So can you tell me more about the data science space in Zimbabwe? Because one of the things that you read about when you look up data science or AI work in like different African countries is that there's not a lot of work being done. So sometimes there's not enough data, and sometimes there's not enough skills, and then sometimes it doesn't work. But I like to think that there are certain cases where it works. So can you tell me more about the data science space in Zimbabwe from your experience?
Okay. Yeah. So as you have mentioned, the issues recurring on the continent, we have been making quite good strides with the success of organizations like Data Science Nigeria, now called Data Scientists Network, whose main objective is to train quite 1 million, of data scientists in Nigeria and on the continent. We've got companies like Zimbabwe and Africa, which is now a world-renowned data science competition, or well known enough to be placed together with the likes of Cargo. So the progress is there, and the same would definitely apply to Zimbabwe. We've seen quite a number of companies, embracing the use of data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence within their operations. Yes, obviously it will start with the bigger companies, the likes of Econet Wireless, the bigger financial institutions. But even in smaller operations, it might not be data science, or it might not be called data science work, but you're seeing a lot more people appreciating the benefits that an organization stands to realize with getting people who understand what's happening with data and using that to inform their decision making. Now we would love to see a lot more progress, especially from the side of public entities. We believe that a lot of the solutions that we could potentially come up with from the field are based on getting access to data, especially the large troves of data that are collected by governments across Africa, and that is maybe probably one of the biggest differences between Africa and the rest of the world, in the sense that you'll be able to get a lot of this data easily if you're in the United States of America, or if you're in Canada or in Australia. Whereas in Africa, it's not really, it's not that straightforward. But then we also believe that it is a key skill of data scientists to be able to understand where they cannot get data, but still be able to find a workable plan, if it is proxies, if it is, just to be creative and still be able to answer the same question, at least until the data is available. But we can definitely say in Zimbabwe, we are on the right track. We've seen, like I'm saying, since 2018, we've seen quite a number of universities, getting starting data science programs, bachelors and masters, and I think it's a good thing for the community. It's a good thing for the ecosystem as well. That we now have these, output from tertiary institutions, because now it then only cements the fact that the data science is an important aspect of an operations concern.
Okay. So you talked about data collection for governments, right? So since you studied complex economies, I'm interested in what you think about applying data science in economies such as in our country. What do you think? Do you think data science can help in decision making and improving the economic situation?
Yes, very much. decisions are always a function of the information that's available. Yes, people are going to make decisions from their gut every now and then, but I think for decisions to be consistent, for to be reproducible, it's imperative that data becomes a key component of that equation. If it works for companies, right, there's no reason why it shouldn't work for economies. It's only a matter of just maybe probably scaling it up a little bit, just understanding though that the motivations might be different. Obviously, for a business, it's profit. For a government, it's something that maybe well-being of all the people within the economy. But data science is very much an important aspect, even in these circles. Policies have to be made based on what should potentially and avoiding what wouldn't. And if you do not have the right data that can nudge you in the right direction, then you're most probably going to make policy decisions that are invalid. So data science is it's a very, very key aspect, I think, of governance. Not just only from the aspect of government officials themselves. Also think of it from our point of view, like data science communities, citizen data science, you could want to call it. Can you solve problems within your community that affect all people within your community? Yes, why not? With data, you can definitely do that. You can come up with solutions leveraging on data that would potentially help our society where we're coming from. So yeah, I think it is very much an important aspect of governance.
Okay, so in your experience, especially with the work with Data Science Zimbabwe, have you come across projects that the government is doing specifically with huge data to make decisions or anything related to that?
Not as much as we would really love, or to the depth that we would, really like data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. But there is definitely a movement in the right direction. I would want to think, for example, during the worst parts of the COVID pandemic, we saw government coming out with the dashboard, that was being monitored and which was being updated weekly. I think that's a very good step, to understanding the importance of data, not just in policy decision making, but also in just gaining the confidence of the people that you are governing. We have also seen their support, for example, for the High Performance Computing Center, which is at the University of Zimbabwe, and I think those are key strides, with regards to embracing of data. Now, as to tangible projects, I think we're still yet to realize, some projects that you could really say these are data science. These are data science projects. But I guess everything is a journey. We need to, just be able to continuously engage and get them to understand that this is actually a key aspect. And maybe then one of these days we'll have an office just like the United States of America, which has got the chief scientist for the United States government or economy, and other countries as well, or even dedicated resources pushed towards things like AI development, in addition to the general tech ecosystem movements that we've always seen, like tech hubs and the like. But yeah, I think we can definitely do better than what's been happening.
Okay. Do you think that we can try to be also leaders in developing AI or data science solutions, or we can just try to be good at adopting them for our systems?
I espouse the notion that our solutions, African solutions, right, will only come from, from ourselves. Like there are solutions that are really African in nature. I'm not sure if I'm expressing that the right way. But what has always happened in tech is that we derive solutions from what has been solved in other spaces. Right. So we can be a leader, but then the leadership is more to our types of problems. We can never be leaders for solutions, that solve other people's problems, and then we just hope them that we can copy and paste and then apply those solutions to our situations, and then we become leaders in that. We need to chart our own paths in solving our own problems, and then definitely we can start to see ourselves emerge as leaders in solving our own problems. So it is very much possible for us to be to be leaders in artificial intelligence within our own space, right? Yes, build on the shoulders of what is on the shoulders of what has discovered, the paths that have already been made, but with specific reference to our solutions instead of just adapting other solutions to our problems. So I think there is space for us to be leaders in artificial intelligence only if we are able to identify these problems that that we find in our communities and come up with then authentic solutions based on AI for those particular problems.
Okay, that's great. So for anyone who wants to study the same master's degree program that he did, because I think it's interesting, can you explain more about what it is and maybe like how you applied or something?
Well, unfortunately, at the time I think they discontinued it, at least at my institution.
Okay.
I studied the masters in Italy at an institution, a research institution called the Collegio Carlo Alberto. They have other masters at the moment. I think a few that have got some data analytics components, but the specific masters in data science for complex economic systems, they continued it because some of the faculty moved away, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. Most of them had been faculty from other institutions who would come in, so they're essentially visiting. Yeah. But if people do check my LinkedIn, I usually post whenever they've got a program that's taking place that they're accepting invitations for. I'm usually sharing that, or they could just look up Collegio Carlo Alberto. It's in Torino in Italy. If there are any other programs of interest, but I'm sure there are quite a number of programs out there that put data science with economics and finance that people could also apply for, and yeah.
Okay. And what are the key things that you studied in this program?
Oh, okay, nice. So our program was focused a lot more on trying to move away. With economics has always had this conversation with regards to, let me put it this way: the approach to economics has been kind of like linear in most of the cases. So our program wanted to kind of delineate that particular, looking at other ways of approaching economic problems, especially in an environment that can be considered complex, right? So where your problems are not always easily reducible or scaling does not simply mean that what happened to 1 people, you simply have to multiply that by 1 million to get what would then happen to 1 million people. To understand complex adaptive systems, which are a feature of existence, really. For example, things like if you think of things like the stock market, for example, it's really a complex system where you get a lot of things that are taking place, and economics had tended to approach, solving problems within these types of systems by just looking at, okay, so what happens to 1 age or 1 unit of the people of the things that are involved in that particular system, and then try to see what would then happen to if we start adding other aspects to it. But with complex systems now, you want to look at different aspects. You want to look at interactions. You want to look at a nonlinear outcome, what you call the emergence, in the sense that things that would potentially, what would expect that adding components to this particular system are not the same as we would expect if we just only 1 agent in that particular system. So the focus had been on simulations, on computation, and then we brought data science into saying, okay, fine, then how do you then analyze, if you've run a simulation, then how are you going to use data science, for example, to try and analyze these processes, or what's going to happen, or what might potentially happen. So, then maybe you may want to use some sort of predictive analytics. Then we also looked at, other aspects of of systems, for example, smart things, governance systems. We looked at network analysis, which is a key aspect of complex systems. Yeah, it was really a balance of economics, but economics that is a little bit removed from traditional economics, and data science.
Okay, that's great. Do you have any advice for anyone who wants to get into data science? Because I always get a lot of questions about how can I get into data science, especially on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah, so I think curiosity is your number one friend. I initially got into economics because I was curious about the incentives that people had in making decisions. And then I found out that curiosity naturally, adapted to trying to solve problems using data science. That it's essentially just a lot of curiosity and just trying to get to the bottom of things. And so now you've got data, and now you want to play around with this data. You have to be creative. Say data science is not just science; it's for a very large part an art. So you want to also be a little bit creative in trying to get to understanding what the issue is, how the issue can be solved using data. You want to have a keen sense of identifying problems that may arise or that may be arising within a particular space. So domain expertise or business understanding. Those are things that are very important for a person to have. And then also really communication, just being able to say, okay, so this is what I've done, and then being able to communicate that to your stakeholders. But I would say curiosity is the most important aspect. At the moment that you are very curious about stuff, then data science is the right field for.
Okay. And where can one get help to get into data science, especially from Data Science Zimbabwe?
Where can one get here?
Get help to get into data science. So if you want to know how to start and things like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we do maintain quite a number of platforms, popular platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp. I think we will be able to send links, right, to for people who may want to join, we always have a team of people who are willing to assist with in that regard from our organization. So yeah.
Okay. I think these are all my questions. So thank you for making time for this.
No, thank you very much for having me. And I think just as the last word, I'd like to say, it's important for us in Zimbabwe, for us in Africa, as I've mentioned before, to try and come up with solutions for our country that are authentic for our country. And this is one of the very best platforms that we are going to get. The revolution in data science has come with, open source tools, open source technologies. You can train a model that Facebook could have used 1 or 2 years ago by just downloading it from the internet, things which really didn't happen quite a number of years ago, in almost any industry. So we stand very much to benefit from these advances, and we should take advantage of them and try and come up with these solutions that are critical to our communities and to our society.
Okay, thank you.